Boston Celtics' new secret weapon. A shocking discovery that could change everything. The Boston Celtics are fresh off a legendary season, one that saw them rack up an astonishing 64 wins and dominate their playoff run en route to a championship. With most of the roster returning, fans were bracing for a season that would build on the foundation of last year's success. Nobody, however, expected that a game-changing weapon had been lying right under their noses. Enter Neemias Queta, the Celtics' unseen powerhouse. A completely new dynamic for an already unstoppable team. The Celtics dominated last season with their perimeter-oriented offense, setting three-point records and boasting one of the most efficient long-range shooting teams in NBA history. The success of big men like Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, both capable of stretching the floor with their shooting, forced defenses to stay on high alert. But this focus on the outside came with a glaring weakness. The Celtics ranked 27th in points in the paint. While three-point shooting has become their calling card, no team can rely solely on the outside shot. Sometimes, the paint becomes the battlefield where games are won or lost, especially when the threes aren't falling. And that's where Queta's raw power and aggression make the difference. Unlike Porzingis and Horford, whose names are synonymous with outside shooting, Neemias Queta thrives in the paint. His game is all about attacking the rim, slamming down dunks, and asserting his physicality, and he's doing it in limited minutes. In the first 7 games of the season, Queta racked up a jaw-dropping 8 dunks in just 97 minutes of play. That's efficiency at its finest. Against the Golden State Warriors, he brought the house down with 14 points, 8 rebounds, and a plus 13-point differential in his short time on the court. The Celtics might have just stumbled upon their secret weapon, a player who not only adds another dimension to their game but also fills a crucial gap they've struggled with: paint dominance. This is the kind of element the Celtics need when things get tough, and Queta could be the game-changer they've been missing. Is it strategy or pure power? The answer: it's both. And it's dangerous. Queta's game is a perfect fit for the Celtics' offensive setup. Take his play against the Warriors as a prime example. A pick-and-roll with Derek White and Jrue Holiday pulled the Warriors' defense to the three-point line, creating just enough space for Queta to sneak into the paint. With one swift move, he caught the perfect pass and threw down a dunk that had the crowd on their feet. This is the explosive threat Queta brings, a force in the paint that many defenders underestimate because they're too focused on the Celtics' lethal shooters. But Queta is proving that the paint is his domain. But it's not just about dunks. Queta's rebounding and rim protection are just as essential. In fact, his mix of size, athleticism, and basketball IQ make him the perfect surprise element in a team already loaded with weapons. With an average efficiency of plus 22.7 when he's on the court, Queta has already made an undeniable impact. And the beauty of it all? The Celtics don't need him every game. They can deploy him when the moment is right, when they need a spark or a change of pace. In close games or high-stress moments, Queta will be ready to dominate, whether it's a massive dunk, a clutch block, or an offensive rebound to shift the momentum. And here's the irony. This entire breakthrough happened against the Golden State Warriors, a team that once invested heavily in trying to find a player like Queta. A team that hoped to uncover someone who could dominate in the paint, providing a crucial counterbalance to their outside shooting. But now, the Celtics have Neemias Queta, and they got him at a fraction of the cost, without the pressure of needing him to play huge minutes every single game. Could this be the surprise element that propels the Celtics to new heights? It certainly looks that way. Watch out, NBA. The Celtics' new secret weapon is about to make waves in a way you never saw coming. Warriors expose Celtics' vulnerability. On Wednesday night, the Golden State Warriors shook up TD Garden by handing the Celtics their first home loss of the season. However, this win came with a caveat, and Stephen Curry was quick to highlight it. "I know they were missing JB and Porzingis, but it was still a good test for us," Curry said after the 118-112 victory. "Even without them, their play style is tough, and Tatum and D. White have been phenomenal. Defending against them is always a challenge, especially in such a hostile environment. We all remember what happened last year. It was a great test, even though we haven't won anything yet. But this win had a special feel to it." Coach Steve Kerr echoed the sentiment, acknowledging that, though Boston was missing key players, the win was still meaningful. Obviously, Boston was without Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, so this isn't their best version, but they're still a heck of a team. "Winning here is always a challenge," Kerr said, facing heavy boos from the opposing crowd. Emerging defensive weakness? While the Celtics begin the early rounds of the season with a 7-2 record, The absence of key players like Porzingis and Brown is revealing a potentially concerning area of vulnerability. With Porzingis expected back next month and Brown dealing with a hip injury, Coach Joe Mazzulla has been experimenting with new defensive combinations, with mixed results. One surprise has been Neemias Queta's rapid rise in the rotation. Since taking on a more active role, the center has shown a significant defensive impact, especially in the last 2 games alongside Al Horford. Although promising, the fact that Queta is becoming a critical piece for Mazzulla raises questions about the stability of the Celtics' defense. Early dependence on Queta? This noticeable difference, although based on a small sample size, just 5 games, became evident against the Warriors. In the final minutes, Golden State racked up 30 points in the last 7 minutes, exploiting a Celtics defense that appeared fragile, even with the double-big lineup of Queta and Horford on the court. The strategy of using 2 centers might not be ideal against quick teams like the Warriors, but Queta was a bright spot in this lineup, adding physical toughness. However, this didn't stop the Warriors from grabbing crucial offensive rebounds and exploiting defensive lapses, where both Tatum and Jrue Holiday struggled at times. The big question is whether the Celtics can maintain elite defense with Horford as the starting center. We're eagerly awaiting Porzingis' return, which will be essential for reinforcing the primary lineup in December. Until then, it remains to be seen how Mazzulla will handle the defensive challenges with Brown's return to the team. Jrue Holiday bombshell. Is the Damian Lillard trade hurting the Bucks? While the Milwaukee Bucks face serious challenges early in the season, the Boston Celtics have hit the ground running. Just like last year when they lifted the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The blockbuster trade that sent Damian Lillard to the Bucks before the season started shook up the NBA, leaving Jrue Holiday briefly with the Blazers before he eventually joined the Celtics. For many, Lillard might bring more individual flair, but Holiday fit like a glove with the Celtics. He brought a rare combination of leadership, precision in clutch moments, and relentless defense, all elements that helped Boston capture its first title in 16 years. But what does Holiday think about the trade that saw him leave the Bucks? In an honest revelation on Run It Back by FanDuel, he shared his feelings on the big move. "I understood the business side of it," admitted Holiday. "To be honest, out of 10 people, who wouldn't make that trade to bring Dame in? I wouldn't, of course, because I was the one traded," laughs. But that's just how it goes. And hey, it's still early in the season. You never know what might happen. Was it a mistake for the Bucks to trade Holiday? It's worth remembering that Holiday faced some tough times in the playoffs, especially during the Bucks' shocking first-round loss to the Miami Heat in 2023. Many believed it was clear that Giannis needed a more explosive partner by his side to bring Milwaukee back to the championship level they reached in 2021. However, with Lillard's arrival, despite some added scoring firepower, the Bucks are feeling the absence of Holiday's defense. The much-anticipated pick-and-roll synergy between Lillard and Giannis hasn't been as impactful as fans hoped. Meanwhile, Holiday has fit in seamlessly alongside Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White in Boston. With his defensive versatility, playmaking ability, and accuracy from beyond the arc, he's become an invaluable asset, elevating Boston to a level that seems nearly unbeatable for opponents. In the first matchup between the two teams this season, the Celtics flexed their strength, defeating the Bucks at home. Milwaukee will have another chance for revenge in a must-watch showdown on November 10th. Will the Bucks regret this trade? Hey Celtics fanatics! What do you think of this news? Leave your opinion in the comments, as it's highly valued.